There it is. Good morning, rise and grind. It's that time again for Wake and Bake with the Groskis. I'm here, you're here, we're all here together. Hopefully you're smoking along with us. What's going on?
Some of us are smoking, some of us are drinking.
Little tea break.
Yes,
What
but
is it? 20, 23, 24?
Something like that.
23 or 24 for you, I think.
Yeah.
Too many.
Too many, but it's
Oh,
okay.
troopers.
the horizon can be seen now. It's
Yeah.
very close.
I get to pee in a cup on Monday, so then hopefully after that we can smoke.
How long will it take for you to hear back on that? Or is it one of those things where you just don't hear back on it?
It's immediate.
It's gonna be pretty quick.
Oh,
when
you'll
I
know if you
went-
melted the bottom out
Like
of
one
it?
of those
Okay.
5 panels that just shows on the side.
I
Yeah,
heard that, last time I took a drug test for my job in Chicago, the girl was like, "Okay, negative, bye."
See ya.
No big deal to you, but a huge deal to me.
Yeah, you fucking.
Oh shit! Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Sword.
Oh,
What's up, guys?
Good morning.
Morning.
He had his makeup on and everything. He was ready for the show. I
Eating,
sent him a
yeah.
link like a minute
Makeup?
ago.
No.
I want to say we're missing missing Baked this morning. He's at work, and we're missing because Spartan quit, and we're missing Astro Charlie because he's doing the Bream event today. He's setting up all that stuff. So if you haven't heard of that event, make sure you look up Astro Charlie's page. It's a private event. The location is not shared yet, but the tickets are available. So you look at Astro's page. It looks like it'll be cool. It looks like it'll be cool and cold.
cool, literally.
Yeah, outside in like a wedding canopy tent type deal. But
Yeah, sweatshirt on.
It's 35 right now.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
little
good
chill.
says swapping Spartan for Baked.
is that an upgrade or a
That's an
downgrade?
upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
We got to get Baked going early.
It's an equal trade.
We have our unique skills, so it depends.
Yeah,
on
you do.
It's both bring different polarities.
When you guys have pissing contests, who wins? That's the important thing.
No.
I don't think we've ever had one yet, so
Do it in the snow so you get true distance.
yeah.
Do you know
yeah,
how
dude.
quiet? I mean,
Smart.
relatively quiet it must be there now, just the sound of the fans without listening to Baked barking over top of the fans as Spartan from an aisle away.
Baked and Spartan talking about aliens.
Fucking going.
You don't understand. Bake doesn't care who's in the room. He will talk to nobody or everybody.
Talk to the plants.
So he will still be barking over the fans for sure.
I hope he's listening to this shit, bitch. ass
dude,
to
He's in there
himself.
yelling right now.
I hope so too.
Yelling at Spartan.
Hey guys, what would you do if a shark came up and tried to kiss you, but then it bit your arm off? You know, he just comes up with strangest shit.
I guess I'd
So
be
you kick
bitten
him with
then.
your remaining leg.
That does sound like a scenario that he would say.
Yeah.
All I know is that Falcon Punch was the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, dude, I was so glad that he played along with that too. I was like, dude, now is the chance. We can get it on film. Give us a demonstration of the Falcon Punch.
Yeah, man.
I got so many comments in my DMs from that.
That was a funny one.
It was
was
a funny
hilarious.
one.
You know, one of these days we need to put together like an omnibus, like a bros show omnibus of like the best little fucking stupid clips. But the problem I realize is that if we were to do such a thing, it would be really hard because a lot of these are like long drawn out stories or they're callbacks to other
Right.
stories, and it would be hard to like sync it all up and
Loop
put it
it all
all
up.
together. Yeah.
We're trying to do it better going forward with kind of Baked and I doing the production stuff. We've got different goals for like what we're doing. So like even on this show, we have a plan to like write down when events happen so we can clip them out and stuff like that. So it'd be easier than watching 200 shows to come up with that info. So hopefully we'll be able to do that moving forward.
That's cool. That's exciting.
Well, if nothing else, we need a Falcon Punch MBGS short on that.
Baked is full of ideas, you know.
Yeah.
He's full of something, all right.
That was the most fun part, honestly. Well, besides growing all that, but one of the fun parts there was with Baked was there was me and him would just sit there and fucking shoot. We've come up with a million ideas and forgotten probably fucking 90% of them. But it's
Right.
just so cool to bounce ideas off each other all day long. Just
Yeah,
stupid,
that's the best
crazy
thing at
shit.
work is if you got someone to feed off of all day.
It is.
It makes it worth going.
I'm totally missing that for sure.
He was giving me. I was over at his house. I don't know, yesterday, Thursday, and he was giving me some post-Spartan stories about the.
Well,
how-
I'm gonna get those today because
Yeah.
I'm giving them a ride up to the event. So
Yeah,
Spartan
Nice
stories.
little cruise.
It's the timeline.
Baked
So it's
missing
got to be
Spartan,
like
man.
there's like concurrent, with Spartan. So there's a S, which would be before Spartan. Then you have like CS would be current Spartan. And you have future.
Sorry, Diamond
Toast
doesn't
Spartan.
bark very
I
often.
know what's she chuffing at. She doesn't usually do that.
I heard a noise
Squirrels.
outside, and then she barked.
Oh,
Oh, okay. You set her off.
It's the
There's a
season.
freight
There's more
truck
going
right
on
down the
out
road.
there.
I just want to put a big thank you out to all of the whole cannabis community for all the support I've gotten. I've gotten so much love. It's ridiculous, and not ridiculous. It's nice, and
Yeah, a lot of support, right? A lot of people.
yeah. I mean, I've had people. I mean, I've got people. Shout out to Dr. MJ Coco. He's using me as a subcontract or a sub-consultant to help him when he has clients here in Michigan. I can help him with some of the stuff that he's not. He's in California. It makes it pretty difficult to know
Right.
everything in Michigan. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got subcontracting work there, and I've got
East
other
Coast
consultant work
knowledge.
coming out. Yeah, and
You're certainly
So-
qualified.
super cool to have the community reach out to me like that. So that was awesome.
Yeah,
And I've had
it's-
tons of people reaching out for different job. A lot of them, unfortunately, are just too far away. I'm pretty rooted here in the area I'm in Michigan. So,
you could
Oh.
take this time to explore breeding.
oh really?
Hey.
What are you trying to say?
I
I'm not beating you out. Is that what it is?
mean, you know your shit. Why don't you fucking?
Which kind of breeding?
Yeah. What kind
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
wow.
say it's finally free.
Free now.
That
Yeah.
is not what I'm
Speaking of-
talking about.
Speaking of breeding, my son came in and surprised me and told me that I'm going to be a grandpa again. He's having a son.
Hey, double.
He's having a son in
Oh, yeah.
August. So, and he's
Oh,
naming
yeah.
him Russell. So that made me cry like a baby. But
Yeah, congratulations.
super cool.
You live on.
That's awesome.
Well, that's his name too. But yeah, so the tradition of the name keeps getting passed. So I
Keeps
love
living
that.
on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm gonna start calling you senior because now, well, I mean, you're not technically a senior, but you're a senior.
Senior
Okay.
grown is what its name is now.
Senior is pretty tame for some of the stuff I've been called, so I'm all right with
Fair enough.
that.
Become Grandpa Chip.
Well, anyway, congrats on that.
Yeah, definitely. Exciting to hear that you landed on your feet like we knew you would, but
Painted Lady Mimosa.
plenty of
Well, I know I told everybody I was going to take 2 weeks off before I even entertained anything, but when you have offers that are pretty good,
right.
Yeah.
still at least I will look at all offers. I'm not like instantly just turning everything down, but
Right.
I'm not in a big hurry to get back into it. If I can survive without working, I'm really liking this not working for somebody else thing.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that would be pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Spartan made lots of adult decisions in his life, so he's in a good situation. So that's good.
The
I'm happy.
responsible one.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Some
see
good
it.
ones, some
Yeah.
bad, but they all
They
wash
level
out.
out. Yeah.
Dude, sometimes the toast falls butter up.
That's a good. I like that.
Speaking of that, have you guys? And this is not a new product, but have you guys ever had whipped honey?
I have.
Yeah. I used
No,
to make it.
I can get that shit for $5 for a whole fucking mason jar like this at a local place. My favorite topping for everything breakfast, fucking toast, bagel, English muffin. That shit
Ooh,
is.
get me
Sorry,
some.
Fried
Yeah.
bagel again.
I'll get
I
you
want
some.
Try
that.
that.
I'll get
sounds
you
yummy.
some. It's right next to Kickstart where I get it. So right next
Ooh,
door,
even better.
it's a little place, and they sell honeys, handmade soaps. I get all my soap there, which the soap I got
You
hemp
know,
oil
like
soap.
local honey.
Huh? Yes, local honey's from Jackson.
Thanks, sweets.
Yeah, because that's a big thing. Is like people try to focus on local honey and stuff for the anti. I don't know what the fuck.
I did a
The,
medicated.
Anti what the fuck?
Oh, there's little pieces of pollen still in it because
Yeah,
if
the
it's-
pollen
what's
for your,
less around
allergies.
you. So you
That's
like
what helps
low
your
dose-
allergies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you low doses of it so your body can get used to the pollen.
Oh shit. Kev Crypto says medicated whipped honey is where it's
Yeah,
at.
so
Now I
throw
can get
some of
behind
that-
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Throw some
I
of that
used to
RSO
make
in
that for
there.
a patient of mine because she couldn't smoke, and she used to love the whipped honey. So I would.
Just put it on toast.
Yeah, you
I don't know
just-
what she put it
that's
on. She
easy.
probably just ate it.
Just take spoonfuls. of
Dude.
that shit.
Oh, it's so
Mhm.
good.
Done.
Painted Lady rocks almond butter and honey on her bagels, and
That's good. as fuck,
that
dude.
sort of
On
stuff.
what?
I'm
Yeah.
an English muffin.
Yeah.
I love
Bagel?
buttered muffins.
I just wanted to quote.
Butter my
Just wanted
muffins.
to
He
say
just
it.
had to throw that bagel
He did.
correction in there.
I knew it.
I had to throw the bagel correction.
Did you get that reference, Gilbo,
Yes.
from Weird Science?
Yes,
Bagel.
ma'am.
One of the best movies ever.
Bagel.
Terry, have you gotten any of that flour yet that you got in the mail?
Yeah. What's up with that flower? Show it off.
No, I've got it sitting right next to me. I can't wait to share it today. It smells so good. He did such a phenomenal job. And to share this with us, that's pretty awesome. So this first one smells so good. Snow Cane V2 Spartan.
Nice.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
He's
it
the
just
Easter bunny.
really just jumps out. I know. I mean, goodness sakes. I mean, he is so awesome. Debbie Hayes, shout out. I mean,
I can
phenomenal job.
remember that sweet tea from last time. That was pretty
yes. And now he's got this new HLG light. He's got a new room going. So I've been watching it, and he has just really, really turned it up a notch. I've got some Zest OG.
Jesus, Tara.
I'm
What?
telling you.
I highlighted you so you could
Bam.
show them.
She pulls it down immediately.
I'm sorry.
I took it down.
It's there as soon as the
Whoa.
screen maximizes.
Bring it
boom,
to the
it's gone.
camera. Come
I'm
to the camera,
sorry.
Tara.
And plus,
Right,
I got
that
way.
hold on,
To the
let me
light.
take
Come
one of
into the
these
light.
out.
It's our first show.
I know.
This cherry gasm really smells phenomenal
slow.
too. I love cherry.
I'm a sucker for TGA genetics, period. So I'm interested as long as if I know it's TGA, I'm interested in trying it.
Yeah,
no
that
matter
sweet
what.
tea was TGA, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are some dense ass buds.
I'm glad you're down
Yes.
here because your connection's a lot better and it shows the stuff on screen really well.
Yes.
Well, I'm in Ohio, so
Did you see her
unfortunately,
setup? Nut Tree
I'm
showed us
not
the
out in the
setup. I was
country.
super impressed.
above the wall. Hold on, I want to show this one too. This is that sweet tea. This is fat as fuck. Beautiful fucking top bud he gave me. I mean, nice. How much of a nice guy to give me his top buds? I mean,
I was
good
just gonna
night.
say every time I see
Oh,
them,
yeah,
they've
that's
got to
awesome.
be top buds because they're huge.
He always gives me top buds. I mean, it's phenomenal. I appreciate it so much. And he
I mean, what's
always,
he gonna do? Give you the larf? Like, here you go.
I would take LARF. I'm not opposed to
LARF
that.
is
I'm
nice.
thankful for
Sometimes
anything
those
I'm
little
gifted.
ones
Tara, let me.
Yeah.
You don't realize the old bag game of put the big bud in there with the big stem, and that makes it look better. Like he gave me a fucking eighth on that bitch. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. Really, really nice. Really nice.
K Good says I grew sweet tea and it was so dense and had a creamy sweetness. I kicked myself
mean,
hard for not keeping it.
This lemon OG haze is sticking to the bag. I can barely get it out. There's so many. Oh, goodness sake.
Lemon OG haze.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really lemony?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I love
My
lemon
favorite.
weed.
Love it. It's really good. I can't wait to smoke these.
Tara, I'm looking at the picture of your stream setup right now, and I just had to laugh to myself. Holy crap!
It is. It's on point.
Why?
That's what I'm saying, man.
great.
I love that shit.
Your guys' studio.
That is
Oh, my
sweet.
God.
What you put in the chat earlier, Nut Tree put a picture.
We
in
gotta, we got a makeshift
It is
deal
good.
going here.
A
I
makeshift.
won't share it
deal.
on the stream because dang, that's
Now I gotta go look at the chat.
they're making
Oh,
it happen
God.
now.
That you would
told
never
ya.
guess.
It was in the
We
grocery
got some
chat earlier.
lemonberry candy.
Oh, yeah.
Right
There's
on.
lemon candy. That smells real. It's really, really sweet, but it's got a really funky ass smell to it, too. I mean, it's super, super sweet, but it got some stank. I really like this one, actually.
Nice.
Everyone knows you're into funky ass, Tara.
I do. I
Yeah,
love the
funky ass.
funkier, the stinky ass better. I love it. I know.
Troy just geeking over there.
Tell
Yeah.
you what, I'm so
He doesn't know
stoked
what to do with me.
this first round of Donnie Burger to come down to my house.
At least he doesn't have to keep it.
Yes.
Damn,
When's
Right.
it coming?
They just keep the funk.
When's it coming down?
dude, I don't know when it's ready.
Okay.
Days, like days.
Days. Right on.
Like, I could take it. I could have took it yesterday, but I was looking at it and it was like, I asked her, I said, "You ready to come down?" She's like, "No, I got more to give you yet." I'm like, "Okay."
Right on. How many days is it right
Say
now?
yes, ma'am.
I am late 60s, so like
68.
66 to 68, somewhere in that range. I'd have to
Okay.
actually go down and look at the numbers.
Well, you know that the garlic.
I was
can
trying to
be
go to
good.
70, but I don't know if I'll make it to day 70 before I cut it.
Mm.
So
It's
here's
got-
a question: when do you guys usually harvest? How much amber? I had a Metronet guy come out the other day to fix my router, and he just so happened to be a grower, and we were kind of talking about it, and it was his first grow ever, and he's like, "Yeah, My uncle taught me, and yeah, he told me I wait until it's like 50% and then wait a week after that. And I was like,
Dude.
oh,
Oh my
hell no.
That is the
Yeah.
exact same bad advice
At
that your
50, it's
good
degrading
buddy
fast.
Bilbo got when I started fucking 10 years ago. Was they were like, you can't take it down until it's 50% amber. And so I had this like Nirvana's papaya, which was already a shittily grown Charlie Brown Christmas tree of the worst kind, right? I'm not even going to bullshit you. So my deal with myself, I've said it before, but I'll hit it again because there's some new folks around. I said, as long as I get 2 ounces off of this shitty ass plant, that will hold me over enough because I'll smoke an ounce a month and it'll give me 8 weeks where I can flower this other one out. I said, as long as it gives me 2 ounces, I can afford to keep doing it. Lo and behold, I got like 2 ounces and maybe like 1.5 grams. Shitty. The problem was that I held that thing and I didn't understand anything other than like once you put it in 12 is when it'll start to flower. But I didn't know how long I was supposed to flower it for or anything. Dude, I kept that thing up for like, oh man, I don't even know. I'm gonna say like 85 days trying to wait for this thing to fucking amber out. And it's just dying. And I'm like, well, maybe it means it's finishing. Like this complete stupid fuck
Fine
shit.
ripened.
But that's because I wasn't plugged in enough and I didn't know about this community online. I hadn't met any of you cool people yet.
Back
was
then
just-
it was all different. Like when you started
Yeah.
growing, it was like forums and like
Yes.
He
And
said-
it was all
he
bad
said
information
bro
too. Like,
science.
yeah.
We didn't have
Honestly-
beginner's luck back then.
Well, I
Damn
sure
right,
didn't, but
got your
hey.
hands full.
To be fair, I approach it different. I mean, I think different than most people when it comes to figuring out when I want to harvest. To me, trichomes is one thing to look at, but it's
We want
not
to see if
like
she's gonna get gooched.
the end
Troy,
all
you gonna
be
get gooched?
I'm with you, Spartan, on that.
Yeah, I'm following that.
I mean, I look at the plant, and when I look at the plant just by eyeball looking at the plant, I'm like, okay, this is looking close to harvest. Then I'll start looking at the trichomes.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It's
like
like-
to harvest when they're just all cloudy. I don't
Yep.
even really like to see many amber because they just continue to ripen after that. And I usually give them a 48-hour dark after that and then chop it. And I like a more uppity high, a more sativa high. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
there's people
smoke
that
all
like,
day, so I need it to be there. You know, I don't need couch lock.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
exactly.
agree with you. That's kind of what I do. Is when I'm looking at the trikes, I'm just looking to see if I see any amber. If I see some
Yes.
amber,
If I
know
see
it's
any,
good.
it's
If I
done.
don't see any, I
Yep.
know that it could probably go longer.
Cruise
I just
around
Hopefully
the
you
wanna see a
plant.
couple.
Yeah, hopefully you see a little bit of amber and your leaves are starting to fade. That's like
Yeah.
the ideal thing.
Ooh,
It's a lot
It
of
could be
times you get
windburn or
amber and your plant's still totally green.
I
and you're like,
hate
don't know.
harvesting green plants. I hate
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
I want to add just as a breadcrumb for somebody, if somebody's a brand new grower out there and it's just your first time, just because you see ambering, sometimes you also have to rule out the fact that it could be because your fan is on really high and it's been
Right.
getting beat the fuck out of it. What the ambering is the breakdown of the actual trichome. It's the, you know what I mean?
Degradation. Yeah.
So if you break something, if you only see like the amber in one spot, make sure that you scope more than just one branch and look around and get more of a general idea rather than just the one that you can really see well.
Yeah,
And be
the
like,
tops
well,
are usually
Don't look at your
first.
tippy top.
Yeah.
what's that sequence?
The tops will mature first, right? And then the bottoms won't even be close sometimes. So you got to get a pretty good general idea.
Yep. Just spots all over. Then the average of that.
If you're
like
really
outdoor, I
aggressive
can do
about
with
it, you could harvest in
Harvest the
stages,
tops.
right?
I
Yeah,
did.
I think
Flower.
outdoor is a good time for that because
Yeah.
you don't need that space again. You don't have flowers coming in behind it, so
Yep.
you have all the time in the world. Other than if you're chasing, weather. But
And something else, though,
Take
talking about the
tops,
weather.
take middle and take bottoms.
Yeah, because you're not going to worry about that. What's that called? Botrytis?
Yeah.
You'll get better yield too because the
More
your
light.
buds will swell up
And
a
you-
lot better.
And you
got
don't
that
fill your
huge
dry
root mass.
space with a giant harvest. You're taking it in thirds. You know what I mean? So it's kind of good all the way around.
Multiple grow tents.
Less work harvesting because you're only doing a third of it. Less
Yep.
fucking product drying so it can dry better and faster in your dry
This is
space.
a good comment right here. Make sure you're not checking leaves and make sure you're checking the
The
bud.
actual bud. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't look
the
at
Leaves
callus.
will always show amber first, and that won't
Correct.
tell you anything. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure you're checking the actual buds. That's what you smoke.
And I always kind of check the lower buds, not just the ones at the top that are getting the most light, because
Mhm.
Yeah.
sometimes the ones at the top get a little bit more, and then the other ones underneath just aren't quite ready yet. So
Yep, they've got more intense light, more wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I won't even look at buds that are getting physically pushed and stuff because I think that can influence trichomes to look
Yeah,
finished.
they're banging into other buds and stuff.
Yeah,
the
they're
gears will
going
turn
to the
right
bag,
away.
Yep,
Exactly.
that'll brown up your pistols and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That's another
since
reason
we're
why I advocate for the net, because it kind of holds. You can put one stalk between each square, hopefully, and then they're not smashing at each other
Yeah.
and getting blown around.
Yep.
I love my yo-yos.
I
mean,
love the yo-yos too. I fucking love that.
just-
Yeah, now that
Yeah.
I'm back in a 10, I'm probably gonna have to get on the yo-yo train.
I should look for a shirt with a yo-yo on it and just wear it around. Have a yo-yo hat.
what do you do outdoors though when you don't have the ability to use yo-yos? Are you trying to hook yo-yos to trees and shit and pull it across the yard?
No,
I
just let
don't
them
need a yo-yo because the
You do like a
outside
main
plants
line
hold
pull
themselves up.
across it.
Yeah, you get a
All I
different
gotta do is
solution
net them and
for
they hold
every
themselves up.
problem, Skilbo.
What's that?
You have a different solution for each problem. So your outdoor plants and your indoor plants and your tent plants and stuff, they all are in a different ball game. So you got a different solution every time.
Thank you for playing along.
Yeah, some sort of vertical or a horizontal structure above it. You could tie all your yo-yos to.
I like hanging them off of my lights and shit.
True.
I've got
Sounds like we need a
yo-yo.
maypole out in the backyard for these.
Right
outdoor
there, you
plants.
go.
Well, it's good to have
Old
a
swing set.
it's good to have a frame, or if you can do it. I couldn't in my situation, but it'd be cool. It's good to have a frame above your plants, so then if rain or hail's coming, you can just throw a
Tarp it.
tarp over it.
Swing set's a damn good idea, actually. If you have a swing
Yeah.
set in your backyard, you could throw
Just
a tarp
tent
or
it.
something
Tell the
over it.
kids it's out of commission this year.
You could
know?
also use
Yeah.
that for light depth too.
The chains are looking a little bad. We gotta kill it
These
this year.
chains
boys.
are old. We're gonna have to cut these off with a die grinder and put. some
Sorry,
clamps over it.
kids.
We're gonna put all these little yo-yos on it.
my flower. I'm looking like fucking Neo in my flower room right now downstairs. Cause like, there's
Trying to
so
rob a
many
Yeah,
bank.
going to water.
Mission
Oh,
Impossible.
shit.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
The lasers.
If you see a red line across either of our faces, it's from a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Just happened to fall into one. Get a little
Just
yo-yo
walk into
burn.
them all the time.
Constantly. But I love
Yeah,
them.
they
Those things
They
are
should make
great.
the wire as bright yellow as the yo-yo themselves, and you'd be able to see that shit.
Right,
Right.
I
right.
wish.
Absolutely.
But that's a great way to not have to do a scrog if you don't really want to put a scrog up. That's how I spread my plants apart and get them more light in the middle and everything, is just take each branch and stretch it every
One
fucking
thing-
way.
One thing I'd like to offer or suggest to people who use stakes rather than using the scrog is you can do both. Stake it just like you normally do, and then at the very top, just stretch a net over top of all the stakes and let the stakes hold the net.
Right.
You know, secured to the net, and then you can still have its own personal scrog. You can still move the plant singly. You just have
Yeah,
a
you
little
s-
scrog net up there to help you
When I
support
was in
those
the
ones in the
room, I
middle.
was using bamboo stakes, and I tie one over, and then I tie another branch to that branch, and then just kind of chain. You'd bring the whole plant up.
All
wherever you want.
connected.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Because if you couldn't reach the bamboo, you don't want to run a stake or a tie all the way across. You just tie it to another closer branch.
At home, I do another hybrid thing where I run a scrog net, like a big, trellis net, really. And then I also use yo-yos for the plants that end up getting taller than
Yeah,
my
they get
two
up and
levels of
well.
net.
That's exactly what I do. Sequence is like I have one level of scrog net, and then anything that gets past that scrog net too far,
All
that
the
gets yo-yoed.
bobbleheads.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of everything going on in there. I won't use stakes though, because I've had and seen a lot of horrible stake growing
You
accidents.
got to paint the
so-
ends of them
Yeah.
bright colors, man.
I'm very scared the whole time I work in there. Every
Yeah,
time.
dude.
Or,
Or at least
if
make
you're
sure
gonna
they're
use-
so tall that when you're bending down,
Well-
they're not right here.
Right.
Or if you're going to
I always
use
had
stakes,
6
what you
footers.
can also do is you can go to like a dollar store or something, and you can buy like a package of like cheap tennis balls or something. Drill a hole and put that on the end of the bamboo
Ping
stake.
pong
If
ball
you're
or
whatever you got
something.
to do, you just don't want to lose an eye, man.
Just think,
Yeah.
just think
Wear
of
your glasses in your grow room.
microbials.
Yeah, that's where you really want to make sure you get your method 7s on.
Method 7 is the best.
Absolutely.
best defense, I think.
Unquestionably, in my experience, yeah. So, Spartan, I got a question for you. We were talking outdoors. My thing right now is since I'm kind of like in between being able to grow indoors, I'm kind of putting my money on my outdoor grow this year. So I'd really like to be able to grow enough to be able to ride out another, 6 months or a year. Ideally, it'd be great if I could do all of my growing for the year outdoors and then be
Right.
able to use my indoor space to cultivate some mushrooms instead.
You
That's
could.
that's a I know a lot of people who that's what they've done for their whole lives. They
Mhm.
just
Right.
grow in they might keep a small tent with their genetics or something if they want to do that, but most of them were coming
That's
to
what I
me
was
for
thinking.
genetics. They
Actually,
weren't
guys
even-
are
they weren't even
friends
thinking
that are
genetics.
his age, they all did grow like that.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is I grow just for me. I have no patience and I don't sling. So for me, if I don't gift it, then you know it's just getting
goes bad.
old. So a lot of the smoke that I have, I mean, I'm flush, but I still like to get outside the box and get stuff like this, and then I'll augment what I have. Like I have some outdoor from last year already, the Leica. So I'll take like a butt of that, and I'll throw a butt of this Ghost OG in, or the blueberry shortcake, whatever, just to kind of stretch my smoke out. But it'd be really nice. Let me see. I smoke my outdoor all year and hunt through seeds in my tents. There you
I
go.
like that
Kazoo, I'm fixing to go your way, man.
Speaking of gifting, Tara, I have to apologize. I had to give Tara some product last week when she stopped over to give me those Rasufa stickers and stuff. But
What are you sorry for?
Because it wasn't trimmed up yet, and I was like, I felt so bad because I didn't have time to trim it up. But I wanted to give you something, and I hope
Didn't you know I need practice trimming?
Well, anyway,
I'm like the last person that they pull at work to trim because I'm just so slow.
I'm terrible.
I had like a little bin, about this deep, like a shoebox bin, and I barely made it through that in 3 hours. So I appreciate everything you gave me. And the apple fritter is the one I've tried so far because everything I'm waiting to be tried. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Good. I'm glad. The lime river was real wet.
It smells so good, that lime. Wow. It still smells like curry to me, lime curry.
Ooh, that sounds good though.
That's awesome.
Turmeric. I don't know why, but I really get turmeric off of it.
It wasn't a great grow. It was like the plant didn't turn out real well, and it kind of hermed down at the bottom. But I used this. Bloom Yellow Bottles has this product called Ultra. That when you see like a chance for a herm, if you know your plant's really stressed out, you can fucking dose it with this Ultra stuff. I don't know what the hell it is, but it worked. And it kind of prevented it from all those nanners from popping up too much. But I couldn't get rid of it because it smelled so good. So
it
let me
really
know what
does.
you think of it when it's dry and
I
good
can't
to go.
wait. It's almost there.
There was some nanners on that plant, but no seed. I trimmed that plant for 2 hours yesterday, no seeds. So that product must work pretty well on the.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I love that shit, man. I can't tout Bloom Yellow Bottles enough. I know that, most people have never even heard of it, but I just love them. And the customer service is phenomenal. Like I know that Nectar is apparently, kind of similar to Bloom Yellow Bottles, but I didn't have a good experience with a guy that I ran into last year at the Grow Green Expo. I kind of got up to the booth and I was like, hey, I'd love to try your product. I've heard really good things. And the guy was
customer
like,
service means a lot though.
And
whatever.
Customer service is a lot. I mean, from Australia came out to my house and gave me tips, and they've always consistently been really good about, they sent me a couple CMH lights, and I don't know, I just really like them. And
I was interested in running them on my autos.
Yeah, I love them. Can't say enough good things.
What's good about those? What's good about those is they're organic, so you could use them in your outdoor too if you needed to. So that's cool that you have,
I
one
do.
to go indoor, outdoor with.
Yeah, I do actually.
I'm trying to figure out what that Ultra is, but they don't really tell you.
Nothing. Yeah, I know.
They're not giving
no
you shit.
info, man.
It really seemed to help because, like I said, there were nanners on there, but no seeds. So it must have deactivated the pistils somehow or something like that. And
it's probably like a lot like that Switch product from. Was it foliar or was it a
optic foliar?
Root drench?
No, it's a root drench.
I wonder if it'll fix, because if I take my Grateful Breath past 65 days, it'll throw late stage nanners. So I wonder if it'll do that. Because I don't know. I think it could go further, but it starts to throw nanners really further.
Maybe it just makes the pollen sterile, maybe. So that it can just do its own thing.
Sure.
But it would.
Speaking of genetics, Porgy, are you still holding that Swamp Sticks?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to mention real quick before we got too far, Tara, it's a good thing that you trim slow and you're the last one they pick. Not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Good. Keep
It's a
up
blessing.
So they keep telling me that I'm not.
You're not
I'm
slow. You're
doing a bad
careful.
job. It's just I probably pay attention to. Okay, well, you're the one that taught me how to trim.
Exactly.
Yeah, I trim slow because
I blame you, asshole.
Yeah, you got to do a good job.
He liked it really high and tight, so that's why I'm always, looking at the bud, and I'm like manicuring each piece.
I can get a little
and
more
stuff,
off there. Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be like that. So.
That's how my wife trims too, and I like.
If you look at how other people trim versus how I trim, I'm always like, oh, I'm probably way overdoing this.
I do not. I
It's your
leave a
smoke,
lot of
you
that
can-
shit on
yeah.
there,
Just
man.
mowing the grass.
I cut all the crow's feet out. I cut
Yeah.
all
So do I do. I'm pretty meticulous.
Yeah, I cut the crow's feet out, and then I always make sure there's like a nice, blunt bottom to the stem. I never want a little, I don't like there to be stem sticking off, so I always try to make that a blunt bottom.
Yeah.
I don't even
But,
want too
you know,
big
I
of buds.
try
I
to-
buck them down into little smaller
I don't
buds.
know. I guess I just trim it the way I'd want to smoke it, I guess is the way I'm
Exactly.
looking at it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, me. But then again, sometimes I'm not picky and I'll just pick a couple leaves off and I'll smoke it anyway. So
If it's
it's
yours.
my own stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Trimming it the way you want to smoke it's not the commercial way to trim for sure. I think.
No.
Yes.
No. But yeah, we trimmed a whole lot of weed this week. We were able to, they made the deal with us. If we could get this one strain done, we'd get half a day on Friday. So
Ooh, nice.
we all humped it out on Thursday and we were able to bust out yesterday at noon. It was nice, but I got to have a fun week. I got to make clones at work this week and that was super fun. I really was, I was a bit nervous to do it because I don't know, that's where everything starts, so I don't want to screw it up. And, I've taken clones myself for home, but never like for work. So it was super, super fun to learn the way that they do it. And
So just take a whole branch and then break it up into clones, or are they taking them off of the branch and then leaving the ends?
yeah, well, we're keeping our moms, so we'll just go in and cut what we can off of her, and just kind of keep her manicured all the way around and bring her on up and try to keep it nice looking also, but
Okay.
for the most part. But we
Morning
took
for
a lot
Grilly.
of clones, so
I was going to ask
super
Sarah, can you
cool.
mention how many clones you took and how fast you took them, like you did in the pre-show?
Yeah.
Or can
So we had an order that we did for somebody, and we did about 600 clones in it was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was about 3 of us cutting. One would cut, I would run, and then a person would manicure it up. We'd wrap it and then stick it in a bag, and it'd go when we stuck it in the fridge until it was ready. So
Cool.
yeah, super cool.
So
That was
Don't
awesome.
dog
I
on
liked your
yourself
little
for
video.
trimming too slow. You
What?
can clone fast.
Yeah, I don't think I did too bad a job doing that. It was fun, cutting off the edges and, learning that helps, to promote growth and everything. That was, it was educational. I had a very educational week.
Less
Did you
to have
guys
to
use it?
transpire.
Do you guys use a gel, Tara? A rooting
A
gel?
what?
A
Yeah,
rooting gel?
we are actually using something from Psycho. I'm not sure the name of it, but it was a red dipping gel that we used.
I used
Kind
to
of a
use pH.
blurry kind of thing that I dip around in there and then plug it into the little Root Riot thing.
I still use Clonex. I'm old school purple gel.
Upside down root riots too.
Yeah.
Where you put the hole in the bottom
They
yourself.
pick it.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
It's that
I
little
just-
mini,
Psycho
that little mini
Cyclone is
humidity
their-
dome it creates underneath the plug when you do it upside down. It helps.
Well, I think it's
we've got
more
some
about you don't want
crazy
air
stuff
getting
off
you
of
don't
some
want
of
an air
these.
getting to where your root is, because if air gets into the stem of the plant, it kills the clone.
Yeah,
So
but
by doing
when
it the
you
other
do
way
it
around,
upside
you get-
down,
Yeah,
it sits in the tray different, and it
Mhm.
keeps humidity down in that little spot.
True, but then wouldn't you also not have the light seal on the side of it if you're using like a tray and you put it in upside down, or you just using them flat in the bottom of the tray with no holders?
I don't think you really need the light seal for the clones. The roots will grow pretty well, and they usually will grow more out the bottom than the sides of those plugs anyway.
Some of them grow right out the sides too. It just
For
depends
sure,
on
yeah.
which
Some of 'em do.
strain it is. Some of them are these
Some
little
of 'em go
fat little
crazy.
chubby things that poke out everywhere, and then some are little ones that just look like little octopus tails.
Little spaghetti noodles coming out.
Yeah, lots of them too. It's,
Yep.
it's super
I'm
neat.
interested.
Had a fun week.
I've been looking into, commercial size, so around like what Tara's saying, 600,000 to 800,000 capacity cloner for commercial scale stuff, because it's interesting to me that everyone is still that's such a huge labor time sink every day, checking your little cubes, make sure the moisture level's right, and then do the whole cloning process and all. And I did find one that looks cool as shit, and they're making huge claims. but I've never heard of that shit before, so I don't know whether it's good or not. And when you're looking at commercial scale shit, you're like, this is gonna. It doesn't have
Right.
a price on the website. That shit's expensive.
Yeah,
When we're touring those commercial facilities, they're all still using like our level cloners, like 40
Most of them,
site
yeah.
cloners and just racks of 40 site cloners and stuff like that.
Yep.
But that's ridiculous. This guy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
exactly.
there's like this big like Current Culture has a big. There's some commercial ones if you do some digging. Current Culture has a pretty nice one. It's almost like a RDWC. It's got a water line that just fills a big long tray cloner, but it's like
man.
a turbo cloner, manifold style, which I hate those fucking cloners.
See, I
Right.
was able to locate. Fucking, they haven't made them in a while. You can't find them anymore. Is the 80 site of the OxyClone?
Right.
That's a big fucking bitch,
I
man.
think
That's the
72
way
is
you
a
want
big
it. You
one.
want a deep water culture style cloner because, like,
Yeah.
especially residential, if you lose power and you have a manifold style one, your clones will die because they're
Well,
not
there's
sitting
one-
in water. There's no way to
You
water
would
them.
just, if that happens to you and that's your situation, my advice is to just refill your fucking cloner all the way to the top with water to make sure that the areas that you've been encouraging root growth are submerged. Don't
Yeah.
worry about them dying off. Your power will probably be back on in a day or two. And if it's not, then you've got bigger things to worry about than those clones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
appreciate chat shouting out these different. But I mean, I'm not talking 100. I'm talking
Hundreds of clones.
I'm
Yeah.
talking like So the only one I found so far, I think, is like probably the Cadillac, and I'm trying to find something not the Cadillac, but it's called QUI clone, all one word, and it's
I haven't seen that before.
it's fully automated. The smallest one I think is over 1,000 clone capacity, and it fucking UV treats the water to make sure it stays fucking sterile. It guarantees 100%. That's what
That
the
is the
claim-
Cadillac.
ridiculous. Yeah, it guarantees 100% success rate. I'm like, how are you going to guarantee success? That's just crazy.
Built in
Especially in a
water.
commercial
I think as long as you take those, like the deep water culture ones and things like that, as long as you clean in between, you
Yeah,
should be good, man. It's the problem is that people don't take like the impeller and stuff like that apart. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
let's
it
see
is.
what this is.
Yeah, that's a boss.
Quick clone.
1,400 clones per machine. Look at that.
Wow.
Damn.
Holy shit, 16
I mean,
trays.
but like I
How
said,
much is that retailing for? Can we get a price?
that's my thing. There's no price on it. You got to
Try
contact.
getting a quote.
Oh,
Oh, they want you to
That
they want
drives
your
me nuts.
email.
It drives
Yeah.
me insane too.
It's from Canada. No, it's not from
No,
Canada.
they got US and
that's
Canada.
just all their retailers. They got different.
But I would love to
distributors.
hear if anybody's used those and they're worth it, because that's got my eyes with star, the whole star emoji eyeballs. And when I saw that thing, the more you read about it, it's just like it's
Oh
so
my
like
God.
you put your cuts in there, you shut the thing, and then you don't open anything until it's rooted, and you can
Right.
fill from the outside, and it fucking treats and fucking auto
It's
feeds.
like looking at one of those Frutrola rollers, though. You're like, do I really need a $40,000 roller, or can I just use a bump box?
Well,
You
I'm
know what I
thinking-
mean?
like imagine if you wanted to. I'm just imagining
Boxes
things,
are a lot of work, man.
like if I'm going to be a consultant and people want that would be nice to know if I could say, yeah, this is expensive, but this is cheaper than an employee. For in a year it pays less than you pay for an employee's salary benefits.
Hey, porch farmer, what you need to do is you just go to Goodwill and you find like an old school Black & Decker fucking sander, and you mount that piece of shit with some zip ties around your box, and you just turn it on, and that's your bump box. And I think it'll cost you about $5.
Yeah. But then you get loose cones, man. I don't know.
Have you seen the way those things vibrate?
No, he means it fills them loose.
Yeah.
Pack them.
Because you got to pack each one
It's kinda
like a
like
little bit,
Yeah.
and then you got to fill it again.
Do you want
Yeah,
efficiency
exactly.
and proper things, or do you want it cheap?
No, I
Troy's the
like
expert
good
in
joints.
this. We should get
No, I-
some expert opinions on how you
I don't like it
actually-
when I'm smoking it and the joint goes.
Yeah, it's like this is an important subject. We should go through it for chat. A lot of people could benefit from this. How
Yeah.
you should properly pack a cone.
Troy
Yeah.
makes real cones for
Yeah, let's hear this,
commercial
Troy.
for
Yes.
work and stuff. So
Take it away, Troy.
Get the professional in here.
Clone tech or rolling
Cone
tech. Here
tech.
we go. Sorry
Yeah,
about
you
that.
can-
It's called Troy Tech.
I can't even talk.
So we comes to the grinding of it, we make sure it's dry enough, because if you run it through the grinder and it's too wet, it gums the grinder all up.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of let it dry enough to where it's grindable, and then we run it through two different size grinding particulate sizes to get it to the right consistency, almost to where it's keef like falling apart, but not too much like that. And then we use a STM. I can't remember the is the brand name of the Knockbox or Rocket or like a box shaker.
Can we see a picture of that?
It's a-
sometime?
It does 143 cones at once, and I don't know.
How long
So
does it, how long do you think it takes you to like pack one of those things? Like,
we can, with a team of 4 or 5 of us in there, we can probably put out 1,000 joints in a day easily, probably more, and that's packaged out the door.
Wow.
So then when we package them into the, that's the,
Oh, that thing is sweet.
is that the grinder there?
This is the machine.
That's the,
the machine.
Pre-roll machine.
that's
Oh,
not
that
the
was
one that we
pre-roll.
had,
That was
but
pre-roll. You just put the fucking
Rocket
flour on
box.
top, it grinds it, spits out rolled joints in the bottom. That's pretty impressive.
So
Troy
it's like
be
an
out of the
automated
job then.
dump box.
yeah, that one's a little different, I think, than what we use.
This is the 2.0, so maybe you have the
New and
1.0.
improved.
Yeah, possibly.
This is the newer version.
Okay, yeah, it looks similar to
sweet.
that. The top, yeah. There's just not as many.
That's about
So
what
then
we,
when we even
that's what our Gettysburg is.
when we put them into the package into the glass tubes, they stand upright. So then when we ship them, if anything were to settle down, were to go into the end of the tube, so it doesn't create any type of sideways burn or anything. It's
Right.
more even burn.
They're big on it burning really well, so it's funny to.
It's huge.
Yeah, you should be.
That's the thing I complain about when I smoke a pre-roll is that it
Yep.
never, it's always burning completely sideways.
Mhm.
It's probably
We try to
someone just throwing
try
it
to
in a
take all the
box.
right steps to get it to the dispensary with the best product. Yeah.
So what's the secret for me at home to come up with this and to have no problems with it?
So-
What should I be doing?
I have like one of these here that I'm using for a
The
single.
Rocket is great. I can't find those
Yeah.
anywhere online to buy one. Though.
It's a like 3D printed one, and then I have a jar of paper cones here. So the key, I think, is the start is the crutch. Is put a little bit in at the beginning, and make sure it's ground up good, I guess, too. Or if you want to use scissors, maybe, or if you can break it apart really easy with your hands, depending on the kind of bud you're using, maybe it might break apart easier. It could be too wet too, but the key, I think, is to make sure you put a little bit in at the beginning. Try to get that crutch good and solid, and then not to pack it too tight also, so you can you can even do obviously at work we can't do any dry pulls, but at home do a dry pull on it, and you can kind of tell if you're going to be able to hit it good or not. You can feel the suction through the
Cheers, Miss Nody.
I think that's great advice, and that's the one thing that I had to learn the hard way when I first started doing coins. If you do a loose fill, that fucking thing will just bend over on you.
Yeah,
and
it's
just-
not good.
Wah.
So like you said, get some of the
So even
smaller
on that
stuff in the
Rocket,
grind.
even on the
pack it in
big
there.
box, I'll set the setting. I'll vibrate it. There's different vibration settings you can change it to. So I'll pour like a first
It's got
solo
6
cup,
speeds.
one solo cup in, and I'll try to change the settings a lot to make sure it settles down into that crutch very good first, and then I'll continue then and pour the rest of it on top. And it seems like if there's any stems in the product, you usually try to sift all that out too. That's another thing. After we grind, we run it through a sifter and we sift any stems that there might be left. After you grind, there's obviously stems in the buds.
Right.
So you try to sift all that out too. But the machine, as it's vibrating, it seems like somehow the stems all float to the top. Crazily enough, I don't know how it does it, and then I just pick them out.
Right.
And that first layer on the tray that we use actually gets dumped back in anyway. So it's underneath the where all the cones set. It's kind of like a little layer that is on top first that gets recycled back in anyways. And then we use whole flower too. That's another thing. We don't use shake or trim or anything. We use all whole flower A, B buds. We
That's
take
key.
good pride in. That's key too, I think.
Yeah.
Pre-rolls are really important for showcasing your
Quality
brand.
in,
That's usually
quality
the
out.
first way that somebody's going to try your stuff is they're going to walk into a dispensary and be like, I want 2 pre-rolls whatever. And then if it smokes like shit, they're not buying your stuff again. You know.
Dude, those plastic old school one, the joint holders. Remember the ones that we've seen for the last decade and a half?
Oh yeah.
I'm so sick of seeing those. I like already knock it down a bit if I go into place, and I'm like, gotta have.
If you want to come
those
try
glass
some of our
ones, man.
products, you know,
Yeah, you got to have pride for what you're doing, and I think you do, Troy. Thank you for sharing all that info. We have a pre-roll expert on the show, which is nice.
Yeah, he makes all of them at home too.
What's
You know
your
what? I wanna
operator
give-
setting a
I want
choice?
to give Sequence a shout out for being probably one of the best hand rollers I know.
Thanks, man.
Fastest.
Oh, for sure, man.
Fastest hands.
That's my champion, man. That's my pre-roll champion. Anyone challenges me, I say,
Oh, yeah.
Send
my
him-
champion.
send him dates.
You better ask Red Setter Farm. That's what you better do.
I saw a thing where,
That was a race.
Tommy was at
You guys don't know that one.
a birth, I don't know what the fuck, baby shower, and they did a blindfolded rolling contest. And I want to try that. I want to try to roll a joint with my
Yeah,
blind.
that was at Nick Risden. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
That was it.
See how well I can do
You
that.
can do that. Yeah.
You got
I mean,
this.
you'll get it done. Are you saying you want to make sure that it's perfectly even and that you've got a flat
I
seam?
bet I can do it perfect.
It'll be close, but I
bet
don't
can
know.
do it.
Okay.
Let's see
I'll
it.
try
Well, the
it.
next get together, then we'll throw
Yeah.
down the gauntlet. You can.
Yeah, we'll
we'll
do
film
it.
it.
Put a camera on me and see if I can
We'll
do
film it. Yeah.
Oh, he wants it on camera.
I remember
saw
a long
Seth
time.
Rogen teaching people how to roll joints at Houseplant the other day, and they were just all around him. He doesn't use anything, man. And it's just fucking perfect, like it came out of a machine. It's,
Mhm.
I can remember.
My dad does that shit. He told me I learned this in Nam. I'm like, shut up. But Skilbo, the whole time that I don't know if this was going through your head, but the whole time that Sequence was talking about the blindfolded rolling, in my head, the first thing that splashes in my head is the military guys always boasting about
The
taking
gun.
down their weapons.
Yeah,
fucking
This is my
Blindfold
blindfolded.
down.
rifle. This is my
Right.
gun.
Yeah.
This many seconds.
With my eyes, I can roll a joint under like 40 seconds.
This is a 5.56
Pretty good,
millimeter
especially
rifle,
for the quality that I try
otherwise
to roll
known
it
as 223 long. No, I have a video from a long time ago from a get together that me, Sequence, and Spartan were at over at Old Man's house, and Sequence was rolling a joint. I was like, dude, I just want to fucking film this, and just easy peasy, no second guessing.
Sure.
There you go.
We'll be
I used
sitting
to
at an
always make him
sometime-
fucking roll me a Traveler when I was
Okay,
leave.
yeah,
I'd be
let's talk
"Hey,
about
man."
this real quick. At the end of every time we hang out as a group, Scobo goes, "Hey, can you roll me a joint?" I'm like,
Roll one
"Sure."
for the
Roll me a
road.
Traveler, man.
He's been smoking for like 40 years and can't roll himself a joint. So
Oh, I
end up
can. The
sitting
problem
there
is,
rolling,
I've
like,
gotten older, dude. It's like it's much more difficult. It's a
Yeah,
lot
when your
Oh,
more
yeah.
hands
difficult.
don't fucking
Before
move
we,
like they used to, man.
My
It's fucking
hands
when
can't
it
do
hurts
it.
to just
I-
do this. When
I
that hurts,
end up gripping things too hard now. You know what I mean? Like trying to keep a sure grip, and it's like, oh fuck. Or sometimes I get the real old manisms where like I get it to the bottom and it locks, and your thumb is like, oh come on, don't rip this fucking paper. Damn.
for me, it feels like I don't know if my thumbs are getting fatter or something, but it feels like I got like meat fingers or something
Tommy
when I
wants
try to
to-
do
Tommy
anything that
want-
takes any kind of dexterity. It's just like, what the fuck?
Tommy, we can have a blindfolded roll off. You've got practice though. I've never done it before, so I
I
gotta
said
try it.
defend
once.
my belt. Put the strap on the line, man.
As far as I
Tommy.
know, you lost, Tommy. I don't know.
oh damn.
That's what I heard.
It's the official call out now.
Tommy doesn't even come around anymore. Shut up.
Yeah.
I see it.
I've seen him in a minute, man.
I see Tommy occasionally.
Yeah, you do.
He said occasionally after a semi-pause.
I like Tommy.
I do too. We're gonna start calling him Old Man Hermit.
Morning,
So I got to
Susan.
do a little mini ad for the pulse monitoring system.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Is this a good ad or a bad ad?
Must be
Good
something
ad.
good.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, any monitoring system, just a monitoring system in general is great to have, because yesterday, sitting here working away at my computer doing the day job, and all of a sudden my phone went off. Your nighttime light is high in flour. I was like, what the fuck? And so I went downstairs in a hurry, and sure as shit, the fucking lights were right on. And I have one of those. I have all my lights and everything hooked to a water heater timer, like with just one of those boxes that you just put on the wall, and everything's electrically hook
It's
to it.
mechanical, yeah.
Yeah, and then it has like a little dial in the middle that you set the time, and then it has these two little metal things that just kind of screw on for your on and off on each side.
Yeah, it's like they
And
use
the
for signs
fucking
and shit.
thing had fallen down to 10 a.m.
Oh
It had
shit.
come unscrewed or something happened, and I finally figured out. Yeah, so until before I realized that it had come on twice. So my pulse monitoring system did it the first time and alerted me, and I ran down there and. And it's
love
nice
that
to
shit.
have.
So
'cause
as
that was
soon as it
right
happened.
in the middle, right in the middle of dark period. So
Wow.
thankfully they were early on in flowers, so it shouldn't throw some,
And the-
throw things
the
off.
I've told
thing is
myself that
that's
every
a
year I'm gonna
fail
buy one.
safe.
I'm gonna
That's a
buy one
fail-safe
every year
kinda
until I got
timer.
one in every goddamn room because I
Yep.
love those fucking things.
Yeah,
What are they going for? How much?
That's why I'm waiting every year. When they
Couple
go on
hundred.
sale at Black Friday, I'm gonna get one every fucking year.
Yeah,
I'll
the
get
Pulse
that
Pro
Black
is pretty
Friday.
expensive. That's the
That
one
was
they
the
sell now.
500, I think, right?
For the Pro, I just have just the regular pulse, so it's a couple hundred.
What's the difference between the Pro and the regular one?
Pro gives you a
Yeah.
light meter. If you get one Pro, that's pretty much all you need. But unless you have multiple flower rooms, because the Pro will measure CO2 as well, and it measures
Light.
like the
PPFT.
lighting,
Yeah.
Like par?
like PPFT. Yeah, you can take part in it.
PPFT, Skilbo.
The PPFT, I mean.
My
Sorry.
bad.
Like par?
I'm actually playing with that. I've got with that GML. I always forget the name. It's called Long Legs, but it's not Daddy Long Legs. It's something else Long Legs. But it's an 8-bar flower light, and
Oh man, that
I
sounds
measured the PPF with my meter, and it was like 1,000, just like 1,000 and some change, but 1,000, we'll say 1,000 PPF. I'm like, God damn, that's almost too much. So instead, I'm playing with the DLI kind of
Right.
thing. So instead of dimming my light, I'm running 10-hour light cycles in my flower room, and the plants are fucking loving it though.
because
It's
you're
like,
hitting your
yeah.
DLI,
yeah.
and then they're off so they can grow. Yeah, man.
So, and it's easy. I think it's going to be more energy efficient for me because my HVAC basically situation doesn't have to run to keep up with the heat from the lights because they're off for longer.
They run 11-13.
So, and right now the plants that are underneath that light look fucking great. They've got the Donny Burger, which will probably be the next one that's harvested. And then real close behind that, Banana Daddy is, if anyone growing that's a fucking fast finisher, man. It's in the 40s right now, and Trikes tell me that it's fucking like a week away, maybe.
Oh,
Spartan,
shit.
I would
Oh,
love
dude,
to
could
see
be
some
out
data
there.
on this for like if
Dan's
you ran
got
the
it
lights
right
at
now.
100%, and then versus running them like turned down to what you think they should be, and like what maybe the yield difference would be or something. I've always been curious because like if I don't run CO2, you can obviously have too much light. So
Yeah.
where is that happy medium as far as like turning the light down because you're not using the light versus the yield or whatever?
Well, and then what I'm hearing then is that if I get this for my garden, it's like a total win-win-win thing for me because the plants are going to be able to be at their maximum like efficacy, and then my bills, I'm not going to be using extra shit if I don't have
Right.
to.
Well, and then imagine if Painted
And the
Lady's
bounty.
light would have been on for an extra 6 hours in the dark period yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, because they don't come on until 5:20. So that's a long time.
that's
for them to
really
have been
pushing
on.
it. Yeah.
And I never would have known, man.
Detrimental.
I never would have known.
Shout out.
Well, it's interesting what different ways you can push the plants because even Rasta Jeff has
Mhm.
says that he at the end of the cycle runs fucking like
24
18-hour
hours
fucking
worth?
cycles and shit.
18.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
puts
that
them back
shit
to 18 for the
still is
last
crazy.
like 11 days.
Breeders are big on that because once the plants are pollinated and they're growing seeds, you can turn the light cycle back up and they'll grow seeds faster. So that's kind of an interesting thing. That's
didn't
a whole
know
other
that.
topic.
He claims he can push yield that way though too.
I've
Yeah.
never tried that with flowered
Yeah.
plants, but yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd want to see hard data as far as what's the increase in yield as opposed to the increase in energy cost
Yeah,
in those
for sure.
days.
Right.
How can he-
He does a lot of commercial growing.
I'm
though,
sure
so
he's
there'll
got a lot of
probably
that
be
data. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a lot of data that makes sense.
He had a great show on Grow From Your Heart the other day about pets in the grow, and I felt personally attacked.
Because why? What was the message of that one?
I mean, if you have
Don't
pets
do
in the
it.
grow, you're gonna have shit happen. You can,
They bring
like he was
IPM
talking about
issues.
dogs.
Pets bring
mostly.
problems.
Dogs will go outside and pick up lots of little critters, and then if you bring them back in the house and let them in your grow, you could be
Yep.
transferring all that shit into your grow. Not to mention hair. I mean,
And
Who hasn't seen one of my photos with a fucking cat hair in it? I mean,
Well,
they're in there all the time.
that's also a good reason that we shouldn't wear the same clothes that we were wearing in our house when we go in our
Yeah.
gardens. I am super
Yeah.
fucking guilty of that. Super fucking
Yeah.
guilty of that, but I'm aware of it now. You know, like damn.
Never go
You know,
straight from outside into your
Well, you
garden.
think about shoes, like, you know, hey, I probably shouldn't be wearing shit that I was just traipsing around in my garden with outside. I shouldn't go walk around my grow room.
Yeah, he talked about
there's
that too, Scobo. That's exactly what he mentioned is, you know, having not the pets not running around outside, and then yourself just always taking all your clothes off. And he said he's got those fucking 5-foot long dreadlocks, and that shit's in your hair. So I mean, everything. Like
Right, and you can't just wash it like, you know, how you could say, well, I'll just jump in the shower and then put this clean suit on and this special pair of Crocs that I keep stored in the bleach thing, you know, like the bleach walk that we went through at Mitten. And you think, oh, that's fine. But if you've got long dreadlocks, you can't be washing your fucking hair all the time. It would never dry.
You gotta use a net.
Bag it up.
Yeah, you have to fucking
Yep.
put that shit up in a
I always
beehive.
Wrap it
hair,
up.
I always cover my hair at work. Always. I don't step foot past the break room without my hair covered at all times. Even when I go outside for break, I change my hair piece. I wipe my glasses down. I wipe my phone down. Obviously, we don't wear any of the same shoes. I keep a pair of shoes at work. We wear scrubs. But very, very conscientious, especially now that it's getting to be springtime. You know, not so much. I mean, we're still conscientious in the winter, but definitely during the spring and summer times, it's on.
It's really that the worst time is honestly as you approach winter because everything tries to get into the warm. That's so fucking annoying.
Get a bunch of hitchhikers that way.
Yeah.
I tried like 6 things to fix the camera chat. Sorry about the pulsing
The
It's-
light.
lights just
It's
fucking with you.
it's the slider, but Diamond, if you can see her,
She's laying in front of it
She's
so they
laying
can't
right in
close
front of
it.
the window.
she
Yeah,
likes to
they're not-
watch her squirrels, so we can't, you know, deprive her of that.
No, absolutely not. She just
No.
opened it back up.
We're not using all the. We don't have the fancy camera app running, so I can't set it to be non-automatic. So what it's trying to adjust the light dark over and over
Sorry.
and giving somebody a seizure in the background.
Hey guys,
Oh, wow.
hey guys, we don't have the
Epilepsy
worst.
warning.
We don't have the worst camera today. For once, it's not any of us. It's him. It's his.
It's me.
camera.
And
It's
you can
my
hear me
fault.
without my earbuds too, so my shit worked finally. So hopefully it'll work when I go back up above the wall.
I appreciate you guys seeing that though and paying attention to. Not that you could miss it.
Cheers,
Give me a
Lobster.
seizure.
Yeah,
Lobster, we saw Segura this week. It was fantastic.
Segura was awesome. That was a great show. It was awesome to see Kazoo and Astro and Yeti and Amanda all out there.
Natalie.
Kazoo's wife.
Yeah, I bet that was
there.
killer.
Natalie was there.
Mhm.
We had so much fun.
Yeah,
That's
Lots of
awesome. It
laughs.
looked like a good time.
lots of laughs.
Coming up on 3 minutes left, guys.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I
Fruit
do
salad
want
for lunch.
I do want to say that I hope you guys have had a chance to wake up, smoke a couple of bowls, get your mind right, and get ready to greet the day. Make sure you come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Bro Show Live. And then Monday night at 11 p.m. for the late sesh.
With
Any
any
lady
luck,
will be
tomorrow's
there.
show will be the last show that I have to be stone sober for.
Yes.
Monday I do my pee test. Get to pee in the little plastic cup, and we'll see what happens.
Everybody cross their fingers for sequence. You know, we have
Yeah,
no idea
absolutely.
what's going to happen. He's a pretty heavy smoker and had
Well,
been for 10 years, and it's
I have
only
a
been
question.
a few weeks. So
The question is this: do we know that cannabis is a disqualifying thing, or are they just trying to make sure you're not
Yeah.
a heroin junkie?
So we're doing the 5-panel tests. I don't know that cannabis would disqualify me, but it is being tested for.
But it may
So,
not be a disqualifier.
r-
Hey, if
Right,
you do
right.
fail, you look like a normal user at least.
And you
I
have a
will by
card.
now. Yeah. Well, it might be a thing where it'll be low enough where it looks like I was like in a room with somebody that smoked. or
Right.
something.
No,
Yeah,
no.
like, well, I live in Michigan and everybody's smoking
inhaled.
around. I don't know.
Well,
what
That's what I would say.
I would.
I wouldn't
I
say
think-
anything. Fuck it. It's
Yeah.
come on.
That's what
Failing
you
would
can do
be
about it.
failing, though, I
You
think.
want me or not?
So the 5-panel test is the standard, like lowest level pre-employment test. They're testing for amphetamines like cocaine, meth. They're testing for opiates like heroin. They're testing for THC and something else. I can't remember what the 5th one is, but Yeah,
Yeah.
shouldn't be a big deal, but we'll see. I smoked like a job for a long time, so
Good job.
I'm nervous about it. I mean, I dabbed more than anyone I know, really. So
Yeah, but you're thin, dude.
I wouldn't
I'll
worry
let
about
you-
it.
I have
you
like
know.
no body fat and stuff, but
Yeah, you're good.
I'm still there's a lot riding on it. So
We got a at-home test coming today from Amazon Prime. One day, I was like, "Fuck
Okay.
it, let's just give him some peace of mind and
Yeah.
get one of those 50."
Do you
Absolutely.
know if you're going to
I
be
don't hold it.
watched sequence?
There's a cyclist who fucking he only had 1 day off and still passed because he has
Damn.
like zero body fat.
yeah, I have
He has none.
I lost a lot of weight from stopping smoking. So I have any body fat. It's
Yeah,
gone
you
now.
can't eat, man.
Looks like he's
Yeah.
trying out for a role in Hollywood.
Maybe that
Yeah,
was your
man.
body's way to try to get the THC. It's like, fuck you.
Right. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you very much. We got to get out of here. I'm gonna play the outro.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out the shows that Scobo listed. We got the Sunday show tomorrow and late sesh on Monday.
If you
Yes,
Yeah,
spent
tomorrow
this
night.
time, if you
See you
spent
guys
this time in
later.
Top Chat, let that be a lesson to you.
See ya, green.
Cheers, everyone.